The rise of Nazism. Hitler systematically started the destruction of democracy. He achieved what he desired the most when President Hindenburg offered him the highest post in the cabinet of ministers, the chancellorship. With power in his hands and a mysterious fire to help him, Hitler passed the Fire Decree on February 28, 1933, and indefinitely suspended the basic civil rights of the people. He then packed off his enemies, the communists, to a newly established concentration camp. The Enabling Act, passed on 3rd March 1933, established dictatorship in Germany. It helped Hitler rule without any hindrance from other parties. Only affiliates of Hitler's party could survive this act. The state established complete control over the economy, media, army, and judiciary. Further special surveillance and security forces were created to control society as per the Nazi way. These forces were given extra constitutional powers that made Germany the most dreaded criminal state. People were detained in torture chambers, concentration camps, and the police could rule with impunity. Along with his reign of terror, Hitler also worked on the reconstruction of the economy. He assigned the responsibility of economic recovery to the economist Hjalmar Schacht, who aimed at full production and full employment through a state-funded work creation program. This led the way to the German superhighways and the people's car, Volkswagen. Hitler pulled out of the League of Nations and occupied Rhineland again in 1936 and united Austria and Germany under the slogan "One people, one empire, and one leader." He occupied Sudetenland and thus had control over all the neighboring countries, with the silent support of England, who felt that the Treaty of Versailles had been a harsh one. Though his economic advisor told him to go slow on rearmament, Hitler chose war to get over the economic crisis. In 1939, he invaded Poland, and this resulted in a war with France and England. In 1940, he signed the tripartite agreement with Italy and Japan and thus strengthened his claim to international power. Puppet regimes were established in pro-Nazi areas and Hitler took control of a large part of Europe by 1940. After this, Hitler set his eyes on Eastern Europe and attacked the Soviet Union in 1941. That was a blunder, and aerial bombing by the British was facilitated. The Battle of Stalingrad found Germany on the losing side again, and the Soviets established their hegemony over the entire Eastern Europe for half a century thereafter. In the meanwhile, USA, which had stayed out of the war, was forced to join in because of the aggressive nature of the Japanese armies who finally attacked Pearl Harbor. The war ended in May 1945 and Hitler was totally defeated. The USA dropped atom bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki in Japan and annihilated these two cities. During the war, the Nazis were extremely cruel to their enemies and a number of atrocities were committed. These were linked to their beliefs and set of practices. This ideology was synonymous with Hitler's worldview. He didn't believe in equality of people, but talked of racial hierarchies. He had an inherent hatred for the Jews, whom he considered lowest in the hierarchy. His thoughts were based on Darwin and Spencer and the theory of survival of the fittest. According to him, the Germans were Aryans and the most superior race who, according to him, had the ability and authority to dominate the world. Another concept was Lebensraum, or living spaces. This, he felt, would happen only by occupying territories and enabling the new settlers to have an intimate link with the mother country and also enhance the mother country's resources. To extend his ideology, he chose Poland as his laboratory for experimentation. Under the euthanasia program, they killed many people, including Germans, who were considered physically and mentally unfit.
Thanks for watching the video. Please visit our website theOpenBook.in.